Hello, good evening everyone. Hello, Dr. Vandana. Am I audible? Is my voice audible? Namaskar, hello. Thank you, Pramod, for letting me know. नमस्कार नमस्कार सभी को नमस्कार. हेलो प्रणीता. सभी को नमस्कार. आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने जा रही है नंदिनी शंकर, जो एक बहुत ही लोकप्रिय इंडियन क्लासिकल वायलिनिस्ट है. तो आप सभी से दरख्वास्त है कि जल्दी से हमारा लाइव सेशन ज्वाइन करें सो दैट वी कैन स्टार्ट. हेलो निधीश. I'll ask Nandini to join. I have requested her to join. She'll be joining soon.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Can you hear me properly, or is there a feedback? Because I don't have my earphones.
No, I can hear you properly. No issues.
Okay,
Can
let's
I?
hope that the others are also not experiencing a feedback. If they are, then I'll quickly go run up and
Yeah, sure. Is our audience able to hear her properly? Do we have a problem of feedback? Can anyone just
Yes, am I
tell us in
audible?
the comments?
Okay, there's a thumbs up. So I think that is good news.
Yeah,
How are you, Nupura?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
How is it going? How's life?
Pardon me?
How's it going? How's life?
Life is good, yeah. I think year 2021 brings great promise for all of us, and
I know.
I can already see that manifesting in my life, and I hope it is the same for you and everybody who's watching.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're good to start. Can we?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
Yeah, first of all, क्लासिकल म्यूजिक ऑफ इंडिया इंस्टाग्राम पेज एंड चैतन्य देशपांडे की तरफ से मैं आपका तहे दिल से स्वागत करती हूँ. वेलकम नंदिनी जी. And let me begin with a short introduction of yours. I have written it down.
Sure.
So नंदिनी शंकर जी एक इंडियन क्लासिकल वायलिनिस्ट है. उनका जन्म एक म्यूजिशियन फैमिली में हुआ है. उनकी ग्रैंड मॉम पद्मभूषण डॉक्टर एन राजम जी और उनकी माता जी डॉक्टर संगीता शंकर जी बहुत बड़े इंडियन क्लासिकल वॉयलिनिस्ट है. दे लेजेंड्स वी कैन से. And she started learning music at a very tender age of 3, and she gave her first performance at the age of 8. Currently, she is teaching in Whistling Woods International, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
And by education, if we can see, then she is a chartered accountant. Oh my God. And as well as she has completed her master in music from SNDT University. And she has performed on various stages across India as well as abroad. So we welcome you, Nandini ji, and hope to have a nice interview session with you. So welcome.
Looking forward. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We are so honored to have you here. So with your permission, shall we start?
Yeah, please. Let's start.
Yeah. So my first question is कि आपके लिए म्यूजिक क्या है? What is music for you? And what is the one thing that makes you stand out from other musicians? और आप में ऐसा क्या है जो आपको दूसरों से अलग बनाता है? Then be it your creativity, your thought process, or your learning phase, or what is that one factor which makes you stand out?
Okay. So music for me is something that takes me to a place where I cannot reach from any other medium. It's a place of beauty, peace, love, and a place of respite, if I were to say so. As far as what differentiates me, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think of, okay, how do I differentiate myself? I just enjoy myself in music. I think it's for
You
you.
just enjoy.
आपको बताना है कि अलग क्या है.
The one thing which I noticed is that you flow with your music. You just enjoy it so immensely. You wave with that music, whatever you're playing, and you don't have a second thought in your mind. Like you know what you're playing, and you're confident enough that it is going to touch the soul of the listener or the soul of the audience, and that's it. You enjoy every bit of it. And whenever it touches the audience's soul, you get that satisfaction that yes, I am doing the right thing, and this is what I want. So that makes you stand.
When it feels good to play, it touches the audience.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody is happy after that.
Right. Putting it in better words, you did it. Yeah. So moving on to the next question, that I noticed the same thing, that you flow with the music and you enjoy that music. So what are the efforts which are behind this? Like there would be a stage where you would be somewhat conscious that whatever I am playing, is it right? Is it getting conveyed properly? So what are the efforts which you have put behind making your music so beautiful? So can you run through us with your small journey of this music?
Yeah, I mean, actually, most of the effort was on my guru's part to teach me, to make me practice, and I mean, of course, practicing is the one most important thing. If you're thinking about where to put your fingers on the fretboard, on the fingerboard, then there itself you don't enjoy it, because you're continuously thinking about whether you'll hit the note correctly. So the moment you practice enough number of times that you have the confidence that, okay, if I'm trying to play this note, it will hit that note. If once you get that confidence, it becomes a very enjoyable process. And apart from that, there are so many things like dynamics and feel. Again, that also takes a lot of practice. And it's just practice, I think. And there are times on stage that I am conscious. It's not always, but I think if you've practiced enough, then even if you're conscious due to any reason, because every time we're not in our comfort zone of the stage. Sometimes you're playing with other musicians, clashing styles, and that time it's again the practice that saves you and makes you comfortable. So it's to easily practice.
So sometimes on stage, if you're a little bit nervous, so does that affect your improvisations or no? Then also the practice is there to save you.
So you'd never get lost in the middle normally if you're in the middle of a rag
Okay. Mm-hmm.
improvisation. So once you're in the rag, you are in the rag. You know, like
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you're with, uh, mm, say you're playing with other kinds of musicians and there's suddenly something new coming up, that is the time that you kind of have to submit because then trust yourself that whatever comes out will be good.
Right. Right.
If you
Mm-hmm.
overthink, then you spoil it. If that is the
Right. I
time,
got
then
it.
going with the flow is the most important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And like, how do you feel if you see that there are legendary musicians sitting in the audience which are listening to you from the front row? How are those feelings? And then how do you manage that? That I have to give my best today, whatever it is, because these legend people are going to listen to me. So how are those feelings and how do you manage them?
It's actually a combination of two things for me. One is you become a little nervous because
Hmm.
you feel that such legendary musicians are sitting and they understand everything. So you
Right.
become kind of anxious. But on the other hand, I also feel very happy because somebody who
Hmm.
understands what I'm doing is there. you know so it also
Right.
motivates
Hmm.
me to do better because oftentimes if it is an audience where nobody understands classical music, you know so
Hmm. Hmm.
maybe some of the finer nuances, when you know that there is somebody who will appreciate what goes
Appreciate
behind
that.
that particular, so it's
Hmm.
very very, I mean, you enjoy that concert more when you hear an appreciation at the right places. And
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
musicians who understand, uh, who are legendary, they are the first to praise you when you do something nice. Contrary
Hmm.
to popular belief, they are very encouraging and very appreciative.
Exactly, exactly. I got it. And the feeling when they appreciate you and you are able to see it in their eyes, it will be a heavenly feeling that yes,
Yes,
I was able to
absolutely.
bring that smile on the face.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a question from our audience which
Yeah.
I'm not able to view. So
Okay.
if you're able to view, then you can just read out and answer it, maybe.
How to become so fluent in playing violin that we are able to create music spontaneously during the performance itself? You practice to improvise at home. So improvisation cannot
Mhm.
happen for the first time on stage. To be
Absolutely.
spontaneous, you have to practice to be spontaneous. So at home, you keep practicing improvisation till you feel comfortable that, okay, now uh, I have practiced sufficiently enough that when I improvise, it will come. So that is how,
Come.
and that is
Right,
also a different kind of practice. You
right.
practice
And sorry, I didn't get the last line.
where you practice to challenge yourself.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Mm.
And while improvising in a rag, suppose if there's a sign line of a first line of the bandish and you are improvising it. So that improvisation should fit in that rag, right? You cannot randomly play any notes to just complete the beat cycle. So, how much importance do you give to ear training? That when that rag is continuously in your mind, you can improvise more perfectly, right? So, how much importance do you give to training by ear, or how important it is to listen to the music while playing or before playing?
By ear training, exactly what do you mean? Because it has a very
For
different
example,
meaning in Western music.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So by ear training, I mean that if I want to play a rag, so
Yeah.
first what I'll do that I'll listen to someone who has played that rag beautifully, right? So I'll listen to people on YouTube and they have rendered it so beautifully, and I'll try to catch those phrases that what are the important phrases of that rag which I should use, which will make that yes, this is rag Jaijavanti or this is rag Jog, and they both are different from each other. So how much importance do we give to this training, that how much
So
do
for,
one should listen to classical music?
so for me, before listening to any rag, I'll first check with my gurus because
Okay.
not always on YouTube will you find the authentic version of a rag.
Hmm.
It depends
Right.
on who you listen to. So since I
Hmm.
have excellent, uh,
Yes.
mentorship at home, I first check with my gurus, first learn the rag from them. Then when I listen on YouTube, I will also know whether it is within the parameters of the rag or not. You know,
Huh. Okay.
so
Hmm.
that is the path I follow. No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means listening by ear is also equally important when you are a musician
Very
or you want to become a musician.
It is, of course, it is very important because you cannot, just by knowing the notes of a rag, you cannot start improvising, right? You need
Right.
sufficient input that has gone in for you to be able to
Hmm.
implement that nicely.
Right. So, one more question here is that what is your thought process uh, while developing a rag?
Mm. So
So, if
while
you decide to
developing the
play
rag,
any,
sorry.
yeah, so if you decide to play any rag, so what is the thought process that goes behind that? Now I have to render this rag for 1 hour, say. So,
Mm.
what is your thought process behind it? How will you develop that rag step by step?
So we follow the Gayaki style of violin playing. So
Right.
normally we expand the rag with Vilambit,
Hmm.
and so Vilambit follows the slow, detailed expansion with Alap and Boltan,
Right.
and then the Tam, like the Bandish. So there is obviously a structure to it that all of us follow. You know that you first
Mm-hmm.
the lower octave Alaps, then the higher octave Alaps, and then
High rock.
no, वो धीरे धीरे जो बढ़त होता है वो तो करते ही
Mm-hmm.
हैं. And apart from that, sometimes I surprise myself in concerts also because I end up
Oh,
playing areas that I never thought existed in my mind.
okay.
You know, the
Okay.
rag
Okay.
inspires you sometimes.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, so the gradual expansion karte, it also depends on the mood at that time. Like if you're in a very
Okay.
slow meditative mood, or
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
more mm, uh, each section also has its mood, right? So how
Right.
you approach
Right.
a rag? If I were to learn any rag, first I learn the Aroha group
Hmm.
and I
Right.
play that properly in my hand, and then the swaroop of the rag. You know,
Okay.
how are the alaps going throughout? Huh?
Hmm.
After
Hmm.
the swaroop of the rag, a little bit more alankars, practice, and then the expansion.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
You are asking from a practice perspective.
Yeah, from practice perspective. So, is this the technique which you were taught when you were like when you learned your first track? So, this was the process which was followed,
Taro Agam
or
and then Bandish. After the Bandish, you learn a little
okay.
bit of the Swaroop. And
Mm-hmm.
Swaroop and all forms of improvisation, Alapta and everything. Then after
Mm-hmm.
that, you expand.
Right. So you learned all this by following your gurus, right? They would sit in front of you, they would play, and then you would follow them, and
No,
then it would automatically fit.
my grandmother would
Mm-hmm.
only sing. She wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
how
I
Gayaki
didn't know this. Okay.
Ang. And then after,
Right. Right.
when you practice improvisation, she'll sing one phrase, I'll play that, then I'll play the next phrase. And then maybe she'll
Okay.
sing the next phrase, and then I'll play the next phrase. That's how also we learn improvisation.
That's so nice to hear, right?
She
And
also
from that,
went
what
to,
happens? Right.
huh?
That when she sings and when you play the exact same phrase, you are assuring yourself that yes, I am able to produce vocal music on my violin.
And if there is any change required in the technique, she'll correct.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's so nice, and I
Only
can
after,
imagine that she.
only after about 15, 20 years of learning, she took out the violin to teach the finer point.
Oh, okay. And that, and whenever you would find a phrase which is very difficult, and after maybe telling 5 or 6 times also you're not able to catch up, then what was the
And then
technique she used to tell you?
she would show me. Yeah. If it is
Okay,
really required, but normally not.
yeah, no, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're finding something difficult, she would slow it down for you and then show that, yeah, this is played in this way, or she would let you figure it out that
No. She
whatever
knows
you are comfortable.
exactly how it is played would be taught. No, actually, she would
Okay.
take the violin and then she would play. And she would first think and figure out how is she playing it. Because
Okay.
it becomes second nature, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So first she would think, okay, what am I doing? And then she would
Hmm.
tell
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
Or she would play it and say,
Right.
then
Right.
you figure out what I am doing and then.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is after
Okay.
that.
So
In the initial part, it's all very set.
Okay. Okay, it was 10, 15 years later. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So
because
if
those are
in
the final
initial
points.
only the final point. So like you're polishing your performance now, like
Yeah,
what you have to now present in front of the audience. So it's a
exactly.
polishing kind of thing. Yeah, right. That's so nice. I'm imagining it right now, and it's beyond my imagination. I cannot even. So you started at the age of 3. Do you even remember like how was it? What is your first memory with your violin? Like when do you remember yourself holding a violin and playing something?
Honestly, I don't remember. If you ask me when do you remember, as long as I'm alive. For me, it's like I don't remember at a time when I didn't hold the violin. You know,
Okay,
you
okay.
don't remember, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a very like unimaginable question that it wouldn't have a definite answer, but
But I have
I thought
pictures
of asking it.
with proof.
Sorry.
I have pictures with proof of me holding
Oh,
when I'm very
holding the mic. Yeah, and that time there were no video cameras, I guess, to shoot every moment that you're
no,
playing violin and all.
no.
Yeah,
There were,
yeah,
I guess,
right.
but it
So,
wasn't a household thing. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, how do you see a particular rag? Uh, I don't know how to put this question in better words, but if you know that in the upcoming concert I have to play a rag,
Hmm.
so how do you treat it particularly? So, what is your way to look at a rag and then play it in your style?
See, there are different ways of like each rag has its phrases which define it or its chalan.
Right, absolutely.
है ना
Hmm.
उन राग में जाने का एक तरीका होता है एक्सपेंड इम्प्रोवाइज
Hmm.
करने का एक तरीका होता है so each rag you approach a little differently as per those phrases. I mean, this is very
Okay.
similar to the previous answer actually.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
so and then if you want more inspiration you can always listen to other different gharana styles YouTube.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can always look for inspiration but this is actually the answer is exactly like what I asked.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And when you were growing up, I know you must not have a choice rather than holding a violin in your hand. But when you were growing up and you got to know that there are other different instruments also they exist, like flute, satar, sarod, sarangi, and so on. So didn't you feel at some point that I should try one of these instruments? That why violin? I want to play flute today and I want to learn. So uh, didn't you feel sometime in some point of your life?
No, I did never thought of exchanging or anything.
Hmm.
The thing is, by the
Okay.
time I became old enough, I had already spent 10, 12
Mhm.
years in violin, right?
Okay,
I
right,
mean, these thoughts start coming when you're 13, 14,
right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've already spent
Right.
10, 12 years. There was no question of changing the instrument and all of that. I love my instrument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
I was
developing
always
some attraction.
interested in singing, and that could be done parallel.
Okay.
It wasn't that
Yeah.
I had to give up one for the other.
One for the other.
But singing, I was
Right.
always along with violin.
Along with violin, that's really great. Have you learned tabla also, like while or basic tal gyan? What we said, did you have to learn tabla for that while learning violin?
Again, I learned, and I learned Punnakol, which is South Indian rhythm. The bowl,
Okay.
just like
The
tabla
bowls.
hote hain, Punnakol is a form like
Mm-hmm.
the South Indian rhythm. So I learned that for 2 years from Midwan T.S. Nandakumar Mama. I learned that from when I
Oh.
was in my ninth.
That's great. I saw you like saying these bowls in that Sakhi video, if
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So it's called Kunnakul.
Punnakol.
Okay. So these are South Indian, whatever they play on their mridangam, they're mridangam bowls, you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So uh, uh, whatever we can say with tabla bowl or mridangam bowls, the mathematics or the laikari which goes behind each beat, it will be the same, right? It is same calculation. It
It's same
helps to
calculation.
blend with the tal.
It's just that some particular combinations are a lot more complex in Carnatic. Some
Okay.
combinations. or they are
Okay.
existent in Hindustani also, but it is more
Mm-hmm.
commonly practiced in South India to make it more complicated.
Okay. 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 That's it.
जैसे
That's it.
अपना
Little
हिंदुस्तानी
nice.
कॉन्सेप्ट में ग्रेजुअली लय बढ़ाते हैं ना, वो कर्नाटक में कभी नहीं
Mm-hmm.
होता है। वो डबल करते हैं या फिर उसी लय
Oh.
में, तो वही लय बरकरार रहता
Oh.
है हमेशा।
हाँ.
हाँ,
Oh, this I was not. Okay.
या
So either you plain थाल है और या फिर double कर दो.
या फिर
So
दुगना।
okay. Okay.
दिस ग्रेजुअली
दुगना कर दो. हम्म.
हिंदुस्तानी ट्रेडिशन।
In
या
Hindustan, right? One question is that whenever you are shifting from a Vilambit lay to some Laikari, right? So you are playing in Vilambit Khyal, and then in Vilambit only you have to do Laikari and gradually increase some speed.
या
So is there a massive mood change in that? That you, from slow meditative mood now you have to play with it, kind of. So do you experience that, and how do you manage to shift that? And then
No, it happens gradually, no. Like probably the
okay.
first Boltan or first Laikari round that
Mm-hmm.
you do will be little bit a mix of uh, Alap style and Laikari, and then as you progress, the
Mm-hmm.
Laikari also increases. So
Right, right.
it happens very, very gradually, very seamlessly.
Hmm.
कभी
Very
कभी ऐसा होता
seamlessly.
है कि
That
आलाप
that.
के एंड में ही थोड़ा थोड़ा शुरू हो जाता है. You can't
हाँ.
it,
Right.
but it has to
Right,
be
right, right.
gradual.
It has to be gradually.
Yeah.
Right. And uh, the one question is, what is the right direction to do riyaz? Like, whenever you sit for riyaz, even if you're doing a daily riyaz or weekly riyaz, so you should sit with a particular rag and then practice whatever you are finding it difficult, or you should first practice some exercises, some bowing techniques, and then go to rag. So what is the direction we should follow?
So you have to analyze कि आप कौन से एरिया में स्ट्रांग है, कौन से एरिया में वीक है.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there are so many aspects. There is bowing, right? फिर आलाप हो गया, तान है,
Hmm.
या फिर if you want to increase your repertoire, you feel कि बहुत कम बंदिशें आती हैं और थोड़ी बंदिशें सीखनी है,
Hmm.
तब फिर
सीखनी
improvisation
है.
है, speed है. There are so
Hmm.
many aspects like Kari ho gaya. So many aspects to improving. So what you can do is whichever needs most improvement, you do that first.
Okay. Okay.
You spend the first 45 minutes in that, whichever needs most.
Okay.
And then
Hmm.
normally every 45 minutes I take a small break. And after that,
Okay.
if there is a concert coming up and you want to do something specifically for that,
Hmm.
फिर उसका रियाज, फिर see, so it is, if you take one rag, then there are
Hmm.
all the aspects that I said you can do.
Right.
Hmm? And then there is another practice of being able to switch between rags quickly if required. ये कभी कभी
Okay.
ऐसा होता है ना, हाथ एक राग में
Hmm.
बैठ गया, so then the other rag will be a little challenging.
Right.
It is very close. So there are so many types here. You have to analyze कि अच्छा अगर आपको लगे कि okay, तान and speed is my forte, but alap I'm not
Hmm.
getting it right. So you spend little more time on
Hmm.
alap, but at the same time you keep your Laikari practice up so that you don't go down on it.
Up.
So everybody's
Right.
practicing will be different. If you feel that okay, I know a lot of bandishes, but I need to focus more on improvisation, तो उसका practice, whatever is the need of the hour.
Okay. So one should have a goal in their mind कि आज हमें ये करना है. So randomly if you sit and if you have nothing in mind, then you will end up doing nothing. Am I right?
Have you faced that?
It has happened with me.
That's what I thought. See, if you practice what you already know, there's no point.
Yeah.
There is a point, but you won't grow. You have to practice what you don't know or what does
Right.
not mean.
Right.
As long as you do
Right.
that, you're growing. And
Hmm.
one more rule is if you practice this one thing for 2 hours in one day, okay? And the same thing if you practice over 20 days for 10 minutes each or 5 minutes each, you're much better off in 20 days, 5 minutes each.
Right. Right.
It's all it creates muscle memory. हाँ, तो इसलिए आप थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर कर लेना कि 1-2 महीने का आप प्लान बना दो कि चलो 15 मिनट ये एक्सरसाइज, 15 मिनट ये चीज, 15 मिनट ये चीज, 15 मिनट ये चीज, ऐसा बना लो, आप एक
Right.
महीना फॉलो करना.
Right.
You will actually see improvement in all those areas. हाँ,
Right. Right.
practice कर लिया, then you never revisit it for 2 months. After 2 months,
हाँ,
it will be
हाँ,
worse. Then what? Yeah, then how?
Right.
That is it. That is it.
Right. Right. So consistency in practice, and yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many hours did you practice while you were pursuing CA? That's the most. uh,
See, while I was doing CA, my schedule was in the morning 7 to 10. I had classes for CA, and then I would go to office from there and return home at 10 or 11 in the night. So
Oh my God. Okay.
yeah, sometimes even later. So 1 hour a day was like amazing for me, you know. But those 2-3 years I just maintained. I didn't have the time to do too much. But then during the weekends I used to put in much more time. During the weekend
Practice more.
classes were 6 hours, from 1 to 7 or
Okay.
something.
Oh.
1 in the afternoon to 7, Saturday, Sunday. But before 1
Okay.
and after 7 I had the time. है ना?
Yeah. Right.
तो वहाँ पे एक्स्ट्रा टाइम डाल दिया to make up for and then
Weekday.
there was one time when I would get a lot of comp-offs. There were 15 days at a stretch. I would work till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night in office.
Oh.
And then
Okay.
for all the extra time that I worked, it was required by CA rules that you should be compensated in terms of chutti.
Okay. Right. Right. Right.
So then I would get 7 days chutti at a time, 8 days, 9 days.
Oh.
So I would use that for tours or for practice.
Right.
So
Or to make up for all. Right.
yeah.
Right. Right. Oh, cool. 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 And how much importance do you give to long notes, or how to, what we can say, whenever you start any rag and then you finally come to sa, so to get that sa perfect every time, how much, what is the riyaz or what is the practice you should do? Is it what we can say, not able to put it in words, but what is the practice behind that, making that sa perfect and perfect day by day?
That is the first step, no? If you find start sa is the easiest actually to be in tune.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's the easiest. Start getting that, then you get the others.
The other things, right?
Yeah. Because it's the most natural frequency, no? So your picks it up the fastest.
Right.
I
And to get every
trying to find it. I think it was just a part of daily riyaz. As you do, you get it eventually.
You get it even. That's great. That's great to hear actually.
And you have to listen to the tanpura at all times.
Okay. Okay.
That awareness is.
Right. 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 And one more thing, when you accompany someone and you're not performing a solo and you accompany someone, how do you manage the scales?
So what I do for Sakhi, if that's what you're asking, I carry 2 violins. One is tuned at A, and the other is tuned at D sharp.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. That's what I do for Sakhi. I just take 2 violins and tune.
Okay. And the tuning is sapa sapa?
Sometimes sapa sapa, sometimes pasa pasa. I can play.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Sapa sapa is definitely more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But pasa pasa also I can play. So if you can play sapa sapa and pasa pasa, you can tune to any need scale you can tune.
Right. Have you ever played at EADG?
GDA. Yes, I have.
GDA, sorry.
Not on stage. And I don't intend to play.
Okay.
Yeah. I have one violin which is always tuned at GDA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you practice it. That's nice to hear. Someone has asked a question, how do I make my gamak perfect? Please give some practice to make my gamak.
So your first step is, suppose we take sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. You do sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. You slide the whole thing without any gamak. Okay. And
Okay.
then come back with this same. Sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa. You have to go like a swing. So. This is the first step to make a gamak clear. Because you first
Okay.
train your. Is this the same person who's saying I'm a flute player? Is he the one who's asked the question?
I don't know. It went up. I didn't notice the name.
Then after that, you add the gamak to the same thing.
Okay.
The first step to making a gamak clear is to know what happens in a gamak. Okay? To know in terms of ear training or notes that when what is that movement that's actually happening? When your mind is able to process that with the help of your guru, then you can make your gamaks clear. Then you know.
Right.
Okay, so once you finish, that is the first step. Second step is you do sa ga re ma ga pa ma dha pa ni dha sa ni za and return sa
क्या बात है?
ga re pa dha ma va ga ma re ga sa. Then you reduce the range of motion.
Okay.
It will come.
Okay, that will sound like a gum.
Yes, it will sound like a
You demonstrated it so nicely by singing. And one more question is, whenever you are playing some phrase, and if you wish to play on the sa string and above ma pa dhani, so how do you figure out which finger to use where? If you are doing some kind of shifting and all, so do you figure it out in slow motion that this finger is comfortable, or it comes spontaneously?
It's phrase based, no? So each phrase has a combination which is comfortable. And if you've played enough number
Okay.
of phrases, after some time your fingers know how to find themselves. Let me draw an
Okay.
analogy here. If you drive on the same road, where do you stay? Okay, well, let's not say it on the live. But wherever you stay, if you're going from point A to point B every day, okay, and tomorrow suddenly you have to go from point B to point C, are you going to say, how do I operate the clutch? How do I operate the steering wheel? Like, you just need directions to go to that place. Everything you know how to drive the car. You know? So the
Right,
idea
right,
is
right.
you give it some mind, and beyond a point of time, your fingers will find themselves. But after a lot of practice, in the initial
Yeah.
few minutes, you need a guru to tell you.
Right, right, right. Whenever you would sit along with Ammaji in the concerts to accompany her, how were those days, and what were the feelings you had experienced? Like how heavenly it was to accompany her itself on the stage.
I mean, I'm not sure if heavenly is the correct word. That is the correct word if I'm sitting in the audience. You know?
Yeah, from my perspective, it is.
No, because especially if, I don't know when, I think I started playing with her 8 or 10 years back. So she's
Okay.
perfectly in tune. So even my mother, so anytime while accompanying both of these people, you're always very, very conscious of the fact that whatever you play should not disturb them or should not be wrong.
Right.
Because then it will be extremely, firstly, it will be very apparent also. Because
Right.
that is too perfect, and so
I know.
but now I absolutely enjoy it. I enjoy it to the core, because I still remember initially it would be a little uh, worrying, because uh, such a great musician, like this is the feeling when you're such a great musician that you're on stage and you have to be spontaneous with them. But it's nice to see over time how it's how it has naturally improved. and over
Improve,
time
right?
you gain
Hmm.
comfort and you get used to it and you start enjoying it. And now it's
Right,
come to a stage where, it's a conversation all the time.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody's, in fact, in three generations performances, you see that they're conversing with each other all the time.
Each of the
And that's one of the most beautiful musical experiences.
most things
Yeah.
to have, right? That's
Yeah.
absolutely right. How would she appreciate you if you played some nice tan and she would like it so much? Then how? What words she used to say to you that you played really nice today, and she would be happy with your performance?
I mean, firstly, appreciation is not that common, and I'm
Hmm.
happy for that.
Okay.
I'm happy for that because you
Okay.
need somebody to tell you where you
Hmm.
need to improve at all times.
Hmm.
So when it comes
Hmm.
rarely,
Right.
it's very precious.
Okay. Right.
Right? And on
Yeah.
stage, no words are required, just a nod of approval or the
Hmm.
expression
Hmm.
that you
Hmm.
bring in the eyes. You know, those things are more than enough to keep you going.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
actually happy because there is always direction of what to do next, which is the most important
Hmm.
thing for every artist. Otherwise, they will stagnate.
Right. Right. That's about it. Let's shift our focus somewhat towards the instrument violin. So,
Sure.
the next question is, how do you define that? How would the tonal quality of violin change if we change the bridge or if we change the strings or like that? So, how much it is dependent upon, on which factor it is dependent that this would give you a nice tonal quality?
Mm. A lot of things. Bridge is very, very important.
Okay.
Um, you change the bridge, and suddenly your violin can go from sharp to mellow. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And strings I have found are extremely important again
Mm-hmm.
because uh, I mean, in my personal experience, they are very important. Um, See, there are a whole lot of things, and then Lord, once you get into it, it will never end. Okay, but having
Okay.
said that,
Mm-hmm.
for the first 20 years of my learning, I had no clue about all of this. You know,
Okay.
I mean, so it won't affect the emotion you bring out or the playability or
Mm-hmm.
any of that. You won't magically become a great violinist if you have the best.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make a difference in terms of sound quality and production, especially in today's times
Okay.
where everybody's used to hearing studio quality sound and
I know.
everything
Mm-hmm.
is very well mixed and very beautifully done. It makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I wouldn't say the answer is to spend money. The answer is to develop a ear to recognize the sound that you like.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, if you have mm, a relatively inexpensive violin, the solution is not to go and buy a 2-3 lakh rupee violin.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of improvements that I have done in my own violin in the last 2 years
Right.
are immense.
Okay.
Getting it
Mm-hmm.
serviced properly, ensuring it's in good condition all the time. And I've tried at least 10, 15 sets of strings, found out the one that
Okay.
makes it sound the best, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this I have done out of love to get the best sound, and it's not always okay. You put in this and you put in money and you get it. It's about discovering
Yeah. Right.
your own sound. At the same time, it's not a criteria for being a musician. It's just for getting the best sound out of your,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And whenever you change a string, you change all the four at a time, or if E string gets broken, then you just replace the E string. So, what is recommended?
See, for the first 20 years of my life, only if a string broke, I would change. Seriously. Now I change
Yeah.
the whole set once a year. See, as I
Okay.
told you, my
Okay.
ears
Once a
have
year.
become a little more attuned to
Hmm.
this. So after about a
Hmm.
year, the strings start losing a little bit of the vibrancy. So I change them once a year.
Okay.
And of
Okay. Change
course,
them
if
once a
it
year.
breaks in the middle, I change. But otherwise,
Okay.
once a year I change the strings.
Okay.
That
So
is
you don't do like this that before a concert you change and then again put back the old strings.
no. Every string set takes 10-15 days to. It's called break-in time. It takes 10-15 days
Okay.
to set it. So I'll only change strings
Okay.
when I know that I don't have a concert for 10-12 days.
Okay.
Because otherwise it
Mhm.
keeps retuning it, all that happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, their strings
Right.
also look, they're a little moody. They take some and
Right.
violin also, okay, what is this? Suddenly put like
What?
so they take time to
Right.
adjust to each other.
Uh, Adjusted. Right. Okay. So it's called a break in time. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some increase in my knowledge base. Thanks a lot for this.
Last
Also,
I
can
did
you?
a lot of research
Hmm?
to make my violin
Okay.
sound. My playing has of course changed, but
Hmm.
has improved, but my sound has improved by leaps and bounds.
Okay. Can you suggest some good pickups and amplifiers and string brands for violin that we rarely get it? We get a lot of options for guitar, acoustic, electric, but for violin, I've rarely seen any good pickups or amplifiers per se.
You
So
have
can you please?
to look for it. So strings, I don't know how your violin sounds like, but one blind choice you can go for is dominant. It's a Thomastic influence
Okay.
brand.
Oh, Thomas Ticker.
Not dominant. Dominant
Okay.
matches almost every violin.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. On my violin, I'm using TI, which is again by Thomastic, but I'm not
Hmm.
sure if that would suit everybody's violin. So
Okay.
it depends. For if you want a little bit of a mellower, thicker, or if your violin already, so some violins Peter and Feld sounds really good. Some violins
Okay.
TI sounds really good. If your violin is on the mellower side, you might need something to make it a little more projecting. And if your violin is really projecting already, you might need something like a Peter and Feld, to make it a little
Okay.
more.
Okay.
But dominant is like a good blind choice, and it's I
Okay.
think
Okay.
and that one you can get for strings. That is good. For pickup, I use a bridge pickup by LR Bass,
Okay. Okay.
but you get many pickups. And more than pickup, I would say use a condenser mic.
Okay.
Condenser mic will give you fabulous results.
Results. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I travel with.
Yeah. Oh, you travel with your own mic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
And do you also compose music? Like, have you composed any your own pieces, your own originals? I would love to hear about that.
I have composed actually quite a bit.
Ah,
There are two fusion pieces which are out on YouTube. One is called both are collaborations. One is called the Kapi Dance. That is
Oh
composed.
yeah.
That is composed by me and my friend Mahesh. And another is
Mahesh.
called Raga Live Wire. In that, the tune is composed by me, and all the production is done by my friend again, Rajam. So these two are the compositions of mine that are out. Apart from these, I have so many compositions, but
Okay.
none of them are out. None of them are released.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would
I don't
love to hear all of them.
I don't know. Whenever the time is right, it will all come out.
And
I never thought myself
everyone
to
will
be a
be waiting.
composer. This would seem funny, but I was always afraid of whether I would ever be able to compose. And suddenly, it's
Oh.
I've changed. I think and I have so many tunes. And now, if I need to pick a tune, I don't find it difficult. It's all in the mind.
And it was very spontaneous. Like you
Yeah,
never knew that it got composed.
yeah. Sometimes just an
Okay.
idea comes in. I've never sat down to compose until recently. Until
Okay.
recently, when I got project where I had to. But otherwise, I don't sit down. And if a composition takes me more than 10 minutes, I stop.
Okay.
It has to come in one flow. Otherwise, I don't do it. Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. Okay.
It's a different thing.
Right.
But the basic idea, if it takes longer than 10 minutes, I scrap it.
Okay. Okay.
Not from the heart. Then you're working too hard on it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
Most of my
forcing.
compositions I've composed like in one stretch.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
That's so nice. So nice. All the time, as you said in earlier answers, that all the times you don't get a classical oriented audience, right?
Yeah.
So many times they are purely non-classical, they do not know anything. So how do you modify your performance so that it will be appealing to the audience? Like how do you grab the attention of the audience?
I normally don't like to modify unless the organizer says that, okay,
Hmm.
could you play a little shorter alap or something. Then I'm like,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
organizer understands their audience. If this is what they want, you'll do.
Hmm.
But I don't modify
Hmm.
because I feel that if somebody who doesn't know classical also, if they sit through an entire classical music performance, they will get something.
Hmm.
So if
Okay.
given the choice, I don't modify.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Given the choice, you do not modify.
I don't.
That you
Unless
know
there's
that
a
whatever
music
you play.
performance specific, and then okay, you have a set and you have songs, that's a different thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Otherwise, I don't.
Hmm.
Maybe you'll add one or two tans more. That is hardly 1-2 minutes of the
Hmm.
performance, you know.
Right. Right.
But otherwise, I
Hmm.
do not. I don't prefer to cut short the villain bit. I don't prefer. In fact, if it's a totally new audience, then I will do the full thing. Why should we wrong
Right.
them
Okay.
audience, no?
Right.
Yeah. If I'm called for a
First.
musical, I prefer to do the whole thing. Of course, with the
Okay.
time restriction that is there. And if the organizer has any requests,
Hmm.
then I will more
Okay.
than happily accommodate this.
Hmm. And speaking of the dance, like how can one make dance? Like, is it the process that you listen to your guru and then you follow him, or how do you learn to make your own dance and new patterns in your dance?
I'm actually trying to think back to uh, the time when I learned. You have to know the rules of the art,
Okay.
है ना? अभी एक
Hmm.
बार आप rules जान लो कि कैसे जाना है, कैसे आना है.
Hmm.
सिंपल
Hmm.
राग में
Hmm.
तो काफी इजी होता है. कोई ऑर्डर ऑर्डर या फिर संपूर्ण राग ले लो where the चलन is not
Hmm.
वक्र. You kind of know
Hmm.
what phrases are there. बाकी कुछ कुछ typical phrases होते हैं, गुरु से सीख लेते हैं. बाकी when you're
Hmm. Hmm.
continuously playing, some will come in your mind. You ask your guru,
Hmm.
this fine,
Okay.
is this in the rag? Does it sound appropriate?
Right. Hmm.
And you'll come at a point
Hmm.
where you don't need to ask your guru, you yourself will know कि राग में है कि नहीं.
Rag mein. Okay. Okay.
है ना? And then maybe passing you go to some concert and hear somebody do it in a different way. And अच्छा ऐसा भी हो सकता है. Then that
Hmm.
one idea will get
Acha. Hmm.
15 more ideas in your mind.
Right. Right. Right.
Right? So that's how the process, just like Alap, is just faster.
Voice is faster.
Yeah.
And
So
how do we practice
what
the
you
fast?
can do, I'll tell you what you can practice.
Hmm.
You practice Alankar and you change the Alankar in the middle.
Okay.
Don't do Alankar till the top. You know, you
Okay.
play about 2-3 of that Alankar. Then you move to another
Hmm.
Alankar. Then you return in another Alankar for half octave. Then change the Alankar again.
Okay. Okay.
Try that. Just for starters.
Surely, surely I'll try. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not? This is such a nice idea. Sure, I will.
Try that.
And
Tell
yeah,
me
yeah, for sure, for sure.
how it works.
I'll for sure tell you. Yeah. And how do we practice faster? Like uh, we should go with the pace, right? Slower, then increase the speed,
Yeah,
then increase the speed, and go to
exactly.
the fast.
If you
Yeah,
go
because
directly past,
random.
it will be wrong. It won't be in tune. It won't be in
Hmm,
time.
hmm, hmm.
Five
Right.
BPM at a
And
time.
when hmm. And when we gradually will practice by increasing the speed, maybe we'll catch up more faster than directly practicing fast.
Directly fast, you will practice wrong because your ears won't be fast enough to know whether you are in tune, whether you
In
are
tune.
exactly on time.
So gradually we should
Yeah.
practice the dance, especially when. tan aspect is considered.
Definitely.
Can you throw some light on bowing techniques while playing a jhala?
Jhala. Again, slow to fast.
Okay.
Yeah. For jhala especially, no, maybe your grip should not be very heavy. If you're
Okay.
are you facing difficulty in jhala?
Yeah, my hands become too stiff when I try to play jhala. My both hands become stiff.
Don't keep it heavy. Keep it
Mm-hmm.
light, and you keep it light. That will be one good tip for you. If you're facing trouble, it's
Mm-hmm.
possible that you're making that mistake.
Tight, yeah.
Yeah, don't
Because
use the whole arm. Use your wrist and
okay. Mm-hmm.
try not to engage your shoulder.
Okay. Okay. Only the wrist movement.
Wrist and even the forearm both.
Okay.
Like don't stiffen anything. Keep it flexible. Okay, somebody's written, please read people's message. People expect.
People's mess. I know, and I'm not able to scroll them. I don't know why. Wait. Mm-mm.
Anyway, neither am I. So maybe you can continue.
Okay.
Manshu ji, if you have your whatever question you have asked, please type it again. We will read it.
Someone has asked you to make some soothing meditation type of music on Spotify so that they can hear it before going to sleep.
A project like that next month. I don't know
Yeah,
when.
that's great.
Yeah.
So, hi Utkarsh, please hold your breath and keep waiting. And someone has asked how to select a violin from good sound quality point of view.
See, I never buy a violin without playing it.
Hmm.
So you play it, you hear it, and whatever your ear likes, you buy that.
Good strings brand. Yeah, she already recommended Thomastic Dominant. If you have missed that out, yeah, that's it. When will we see Nandini Shankar performing in Darbar?
In that is a question to ask, but
I don't know. It is so nice talking to you. I don't feel like ending it, but I think we'll be running short of time
are we already?
and we'll have to. We have already reached 1 hour.
Oh wow, okay.
Just last 1 minute left.
Okay.
I have to ask you one question. I think it is very important. What's your suggestion to all the young musicians or upcoming musicians or those who wish to make something or pursue their career in music?
Never stop challenging yourself. That's all.
Absolutely true. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Never stop challenging yourself.
because
So
growth is
true.
outside the comfort zone every time.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
as long as you're continuously pushing yourself, you're doing great, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's all. And I heard in one of your interviews that your mom and grandmom would keep teddy bears in front of you and say that these are your audiences and you have to
Part
play.
of
So,
me, possibly that I'm not afraid of an audience. I
right.
don't
So
know.
your stage daring started from there.
I mean, they figured out that if I thought somebody's listening, I practice better. That
Oh,
was the
okay.
rationale behind, because you know how it can be for kids. Kids can start getting bored of practice. So then they would keep that, and then they would
Yeah.
secretly make the teddy bear nod when I would practice well, and I would become very happy and practice more.
Oh my God. Pure innocence. And we quickly believe, when we are small, that yeah, it's actually nodding.
Yeah, it's just a trick to make me practice more. So two things happened. I started liking teddy bears more, and I started practicing both.
This is such a nice idea.
Very good. Even if
Some.
a bird would come, no, they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would say,
Okay,
"Oh,
okay.
Nupura, really good, thank you."
Yeah, I that's it. Someone is asking, can they start learning at the age of 20 to 30?
At the age of
20 or 30?
yeah, why not? I don't see any reason why one should not learn late.
One shouldn't. Yeah,
If you have the
you
time
can, of
and
course.
the dedication, go for it. Absolutely.
That's all about it. I have so many questions to ask, but we are short of time. And I hope we'll meet soon in the future and we'll have a great interview session once more. And it was
Definitely.
so
Thank you so
nice
much,
talking to you.
Nupura. Same here. You're a very
It was
sweet person and I enjoyed
You're also very sweet. You answered all the questions and they were so satisfying answers. And many things which I didn't knew, our audience didn't know, we got to know. And thank you for sharing this knowledge. And we would
glad
like
to be a
to
part
invite you again to this live session. So
of it.
I thank Chaitanya for giving me this opportunity to interview you. It is one of my dream come true.
And I think this is my first live in this year, so a very happy new year to everybody who's watching.
Oh yes, oh yes. Happy New Year to you too. It was so nice talking to you and thank you so much.
Most well.
Okay.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye bye.